All right, welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk to you guys about Dan Hooker taking on Claudio Puelles. This is going to be a very cool fight. It's good to see Hooker in a fight that he could actually win. I know it's easy to say that in retrospect, but he's had some very tough fights as of late. That's why he suffered a few losses, and they're all to elite competition over the course of, spread out over two different weight divisions. You got Arnold Allen, who ran through him. You've got Michael Chandler ran through him. Islam Makhachev ran through him. But that's it as far as anyone who's run through him. No one else has. Dan Hooker's been a very tough fighter to defeat. We've seen him lose, but in a very valiant effort against Dustin Poirier, and who will ever forget his loss to Edson Barboza. He didn't look good there, but he looked damn tough, very tough. So I think if you're not clearly better than him technically, where you can run through him like a Makhachev or just, his physical better like Michael Chandler, I think he's fighting to the final bell. And if Hooker's chin is compromised at all from Arnold Allen and Michael Chandler as of late, I still don't think Puelles is the guy to knock him out, to find that sweet spot. So I like Dan Hooker's chin surviving here. As far as the jiu-jitsu, Puelles is a killer. This guy is a knee bar specialist. He's 5-1 in the UFC. 3 of his wins come via knee bar. And if you count his Ultimate Fighter run, he's got 4 knee bars, which makes him the knee bar king who's probably never going to be dethroned. And he lost his first fight in the UFC. It was the Ultimate Fighter finale to Martin Bravo, knockout in round 2. And again, he won 3 fights on the Ultimate Fighter just to get there, including a win over Marcelo Rojo. But since that loss, that professional loss, and his only real fight from the 3-1 Ultimate Fighter experience, he has gone 5-0. And again, those 3 knee bars, it's an anomaly. No one else has that. It is something that, I'm sure it's even easy to prepare for, but, the last guy knew about it too. Clay Guida knew about his knee bars as well, and look what happened. So it's always going to be a possibility because I think Puelles is that dangerous. But in this fight here, I don't see him finding that opportunity to submit Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, of course, he's aware of the knee bars now, even more so than Clay Guida was. But he's a good defensive wrestler, Dan Hooker. He's a really good defensive wrestler, and offensive wrestler, really. But I think he's going to be able to shut down Puelles. I don't trust Puelles to win the wrestling battle here. This is not Jordan Levitt. And Dan Hooker, he's looked really bad as of late against tough competition, but I don't see Puelles fitting that bill, of being on par with that competition. Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev, even Arnold Allen. Dan Hooker's one tough son of a bitch, and I expect him to have a distinct advantage on the feet here. So with anti-wrestling and an advantage on the feet, it's a matter of how he gets it done. I'm inclined to say decision, but since he's been knocked out before Puelles and his one loss inside the UFC, and it was in the second round, I could see a scenario in which Dan Hooker takes over this fight. Puelles can't get it to the ground, and he's just trapped, and eventually he succumbs in one way or another to strikes. But that's not my prediction. My prediction is decision, and I couldn't tell you either way which way would be more likely for Dan Hooker to find a victory. So I'm just going to bet on minus 145. Dan Hooker, the money line. I think this is a favorable matchup for him, and the line's pretty damn tight there where, it's good enough to add to parlays and make some money. Dan Hooker, minus 145. Feeling pretty confident in that. We'll see what happens. Might want to hedge with Claudio Puelles via knee bar if that's available, but it's not available on BetUS. All right, like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit.